Hey everybody, happy quarantine. Are you going stir crazy? My whole family is climbing the walls. It's mayhem at the Kohler compound in the I don't know what you call it. We're just holding it together. At this point, anything can happen, right? Earthquakes, zombie apocalypse. We're on the cusp of something. I mean, it's nuts. All right. If you're new to my broadcast, welcome. Give me 2 minutes to tell you what this is about today. This is about making you money. I got a little live audience here, some local business owners. We're broadcasting on YouTube and 2 Facebook channels. A big shout out to the Entrepreneur Nation. We've been having webinars every other day and articles going live on Entrepreneur, their leadership in this crisis, and it is a crisis. In fact, it's a disaster, as it has been declared by the President of the United States across the country. And that's why the stimulus package has money for you, the small business owner. And that's today's topic. I'm going to break down the stimulus package. I've been knee deep in it, 800 pages for 5 days. My crew just saw me run in here with, I don't even know if my hair looks good. I haven't even shaved. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and I just finished my 12-page, I know that sounds crazy, but a 12-page blog article broken down into 8 strategies that you could take advantage of as a business owner. It's on my website right now, markjkohler.com. I think Rosalie's going to post it in the notes right below. It's easy to read. It really is. I've got checklists, bullet points, strategies, and for the next hour, I'm going to try to break down everything I can to get you money fast. And I want to say, my heart goes out to you. There are so many small business owners. This is killing them. And they're having to close shop. Independent consultants in the gig economy to businesses with 50, 100 employees, and they're on hold. They're working from home. It's crazy. So I'm going to do my best to answer your questions. I'm going to give away a free book, and I think I'm going to give away the 8 steps today. This is $99 on my website, 60 videos, workbook, business plan, strat plan for a mature business or a brand new business. This thing's amazing. It's a 8 steps to start and grow your business workbook. So we're going to raffle that off to anybody that shares this. Now, this is obviously being recorded. It will be on the Facebook feed of Entrepreneur, my Facebook page, and it'll go live on YouTube. Well, sorry, it'll be recorded and then on YouTube as soon as we finish. I also want to say thanks to Caden and Logan and my crew here, getting us set up to ready to roll. We looking good? We already got questions flying in. All right. So what I'd like to know is your first name and where you're from in the country and how you're feeling. We're in this all together. It is nuts. So, all right. And you said I can't stand up. I got to sit. I wanted to stand up and my crew is set up for sitting down. I'm so excited. I got my rock star. So we're just going to, okay, I'm good. We can sit down. All right. Now I want to tell you, can we see this all right? Okay. Here's the 8 topics. I did a 2.5-hour webinar on these 8 topics. There's also an hour webinar just on the loan program that's on my YouTube channel right now that you can watch later tonight with a bowl of popcorn and a Diet Coke, or if you're drinking something else heavy in your quarantine. But there's 8 strategies. Now let me say this. This is not just about saying, oh, I'm going to go get my $10,000 stimulus as a small business owner. It's not about getting a loan that can be completely forgiven. This is integrating unemployment, paid sick leave, the stimulus check, the PPP, the EIDL, the ABC. You're going to love it. So there's a lot of strategies you can take advantage of. Okay, let me wet your whistle with a good one. Check this out. I just helped a business owner do this 2 days ago as I did a little private consult with him. He's given me a lot of favors over the years, so I owed him. Okay. I had a business owner that had his spouse on payroll. They also have kids at home that were forced to go home due to school closings. We, under his plan, are going to get the EIDL a free $10,000 check. They're promising within 10 days. We're going to get the PPP, that's a Payroll Protection Program loan, which will be completely forgiven within 8 weeks after receiving it if he uses it for payroll, rent, or fixed debt obligations. We're also going to fire her spouse. Now, I called his wife, Anna, and I said, Anna, I hate to tell you, you're going to go on sick leave, which she's going to get close to $3,000 reimbursed entirely by the government. Then we're going to give her family medical leave for 10 more weeks to take care of the kids, bring her back to work. Regrettably, we're going to have to fire her, and she can get unemployment for another 26 weeks. 5 strategies in one. The total compensation on this stimulus for this one client of mine is going to be well over $120,000 of free money. Now, what does that mean? You got to get moving on this quick, because is this $400 billion going to run out? Could, it might, and you got to get in line. So again, if I blew your mind there with just one example, you may only take advantage of one of those strategies, but you may take advantage of 3 or 4 of them. So let's get to it. Here's the 8, and then Rosalie, I'm just going to open it up and see what these guys want to talk about. Okay, the first one is your stimulus checks. I'm just going to say a couple words about each one of these. Number 1, stimulus checks. That go okay? We're all right? All right. Doing a good job, Caden. Okay, stimulus checks. $1,200 for singles, $2,400 for married couples, $500 for every kid under age 17. You've got to have a filed 18 or 19 tax return. Don't worry if you haven't filed a 2019 tax return. They're going to go off for your 2018. If you make more than 100 grand single, you get nothing. Make more than 200 grand married, you get nothing. Under that, there's a phase out between 75,000 and 100 for singles, phase out between 150 and 200 grand for couples. The checks are supposed to go out in the next 3 weeks. If you have banking information on file with the IRS where you got a refund sent to your bank account in prior years, the IRS is going to pop that stimulus check into your bank account. If you don't have the right address or your banking information with the IRS, I would log on to irs.gov tonight, make sure they have your right address. The checks may take up to a month and a half. If you've got banking information on file with the IRS, you can get that check within the next 3 weeks. We're talking about a family with 2 kids. We're looking at $3,400. Boom. That would help some people out. So get your crap together at the IRS. Number 2, I'm just going to run through these 8, and then we're going to do questions, and I'm all yours. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm a geek. I hope you're having a good time. I want to make you money, people. Share this with your friends and family and any business owner you know. And my articles and my YouTube videos are on point. A lot of free content out there. I'll let you know more how you can get a consult with one of my advisors if you want, for just an hour. I'm not selling some massive plan. I'm doing this for free. I love my clients and I love America. All right, boy, that sounded like I'm running for office. I'm not. Okay, number 2, there's SBA loan. I don't even want to say deferral or forgiveness. It's forbearance. Now, this isn't going to affect all of you, but if some of you have a 504, a 7A, or a micro loan already, if you already have an SBA loan, they're going to make the payment for you for 6 months. It's automatic. You don't even have to apply. Last night, my partner and I got an email from our bank. We have one SBA loan on one of our buildings that we used to buy a building that we rent to ourselves. And they sent us an email and said, guess what? We're making the payment for you for the next 6 months. And we went to our bank account and they hadn't taken out the money for this month's payment. What? And okay, it's done. I just got 6 months of my mortgage payment for my building paid for. If you have one of these loans, talk to your banker, make sure it's happening. And at the end of the 6 months, your credit's clean, your mortgage went down, and the interest was paid. Tax-free, baby. That's number 2. Number 3, we're going to talk about a lot about the EIDL loan, which is a free $10,000. I'll explain to you on how to get it. Before we left the house an hour ago, I was helping my daughter. I just left the house 10 minutes ago to get here. But an hour ago, I helped my daughter, who's a brand new real estate agent, apply. She put her name in the hat. She should be getting 10 grand within 10 days because she's a small business owner. We're also going to be talking about the PPP, that's the Payroll Protection Plan. And even you, entrepreneurs, gig economy, you don't have any employees, you can still get this. I'll tell you how to get it, and it's completely forgiven if you spend the money in 8 weeks on the right amounts. Number 4, we're going to talk about unemployment. Now, I know that sounds weird, but some of you small business owners, unemployment could be the best move rather than borrowing money. I got a business owner in here that said, Mark, I don't want to borrow any money. I got you. We're going to talk about how to get some free money, but you may want to close down your business, claim some unemployment. The numbers are off the chart. I'll explain it. Or you're going to fire your spouse. They might kick you out of bed, but you might fire your spouse and get him or her unemployment. Number 5, we're going to talk about paid sick leave. Same story. Like I gave you in that example before we started, I had a business owner tell his wife, you're going to go home and take care of the kids, which she was cool with. They have a small retail business. I don't want to sound male chauvinistic. She's going to go home, take care of the 4 kids that got kicked out of middle school and elementary for the next 2 weeks, fully paid and reimbursed by the government. Could work for you. Number 6, I'll get into details if you want to talk about it. Family Medical Leave Act. You get up to 12 weeks or 10 weeks if you use the 2 weeks on the paid sick leave, cuts into the 12. You can get 10 weeks of up to $200 a day to go home, one of your employees, and take care of their family members. You get fully reimbursed by the government. That could be your spouse or a family member if they've been on your payroll. We'll talk about it if you want. Number 7, retirement accounts. You can tap into your 401k penalty-free, get the money back within the next 3 years, no taxes. Now, touching your 401k or IRA or SEP is scary. That's sacred money. But you might need to grab that money while you wait for the loan. So we're going to talk about that strategy too if you want. I'll put 401k IRA strategy. The number 8 is the EIDL. So I have the EIDL and the PPP are really 3 and 4. This is 5. This is 6. These 2 loans are so different. They're 2 different strategies. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6. FMLA is 7, and number 8 is the 401k IRA. Boom. Can you see why guys? You're the captain of your own ship. This is your business. You can't just say, call me up and go, Mark, do it for me. Yeah, no. You need to save every dollar you can. Now, we're doing consults for an hour to help guide people through their situation and saying, go do it. Call us if you need more help. And we've even discounted our prices, and our tax attorneys are cheap compared to what you're going to find in Chicago, New York, or LA. We're doing this nationwide. We've been around for 20 years. I've got over 2 million views on my YouTube and 1 million downloads on my podcast. So I'm legit. Get on Amazon. You can find all my books there. I want you to know you can rely on our strategies, and if we help you and jack you up, we're there to fix it. All right. Whew. Oh, man, I need a drink. All right. Was that intense? We only got an hour. We got less than an hour now. Okay, Rosalie, I'm all yours. Are you going to just say it, or are you on mic? Caden, tell me if you can. Oh, you want me to do one of these? All right. Rosalie said she's got some handwritten questions in advance. All right. This is Lee. I don't know where Lee's from. I want to know where you guys are from. I think Lee's down in Texas, if I remember this name. When qualifying for the PPP, all right, so we're going to go over here to this payroll protection program. Now, I have a whole section in my article. The link, is it down in the notes, Rosalie? The link to my article is down in the notes. I'm going to be shooting videos. We got podcasts rolling out every freaking day on this. I have not been sleeping. It's been miserable. My wife even yesterday said, how do I schedule an hour with you? How much do I have to pay? And I said, well, what do you want to do with that hour? Because I could give you a discount. And then, of course, the conversation ended at that point. All right. Okay. Okay. She said, Lee says, when qualifying for the PPP and using the 2 times payroll, can I also include partner distributions in the payroll figure? No. I'm a 50% owner, a partner, and I have another 50% partner. And we distribute about $4K a month in profits. Doesn't matter. Now here's what this, sorry, I don't mean to be bluntly, same story. And I have an S Corp and I know the story. Also, if you have a partner in an S Corp, I don't like that, Lee. When the dust settles here, you got to get a consult with us. What I normally like are partners to be in an LLC and each of them have their own S Corp. It gives them more tax planning opportunities. So keep that in mind, Lee. Now what Lee's talking about, everybody, on the PPP, let's go through it for a minute. Whew. This is called the Payroll Protection Program. Now, not all of you are going to apply for this. I think many of you will. What it means is you can go to the government right now, and I'll tell you how to do this in a moment. I've been working on my application all day, and it'll be done by 5. What you have to do is add up your it's your 12 months of payroll in 2019. So Lee, you're going to go look at your 941s. Now, if some of you are just a solo business owner in your S Corp, or you got a bunch of employees, either way. Now, the calculation for that payroll is actually in my article, so you're going to want to read it. We don't have the time to dive too deep, but it's payroll, healthcare, 401k, SUTA, a few numbers. So Lee's going to look at his 2019 payroll. Now, if Lee paid himself, I want to do some easy math here. Let's do it. I'm just going to say 80 grand. Let's say Lee paid himself 80 grand last year. Now, you know what? He would never do that. Guys, if I remember, this is where I've been doing planning for years. If Lee has an S Corp, let's say Lee made 100 grand. Well, let's say he brought in 200 grand, he had 100 grand in expenses, and he netted 100 grand. I would do payroll of probably 40 grand and a K1 of 60. So this is his W-2. Now what Lee was asking was, Mark, in this equation, can I take both of these to get the PPP? Nope, you have to stick here. So what we do is we take his 40 grand and we divide it by 12. So we're just going to see what this number comes up with. 40,000 divided by 12, and that is 3,033. Then we're going to multiply that by 2.5 times 2.5, and that equals $8,300 and 33. Now, this 40,000 would be increased for the amount he paid in healthcare and a few other numbers. But let's just make it easy here. He can go under the PPP. You can get the application in really quite quickly. I did mine today from start to finish. You get your application in, I can get $8,333. That money, as long as I use it for my payroll in the first 8 weeks after I receive the money, it's forgiven. I don't have to pay it back. It's done. Now, you're going to apply for the PPP through your banker, and at the end of the 8 weeks, you're going to go back to your banker and apply for the forgiveness. You're going to meet the rules, done. As long as you use this money for payroll, for yourself or your employees, rent, or fixed debt payments, you're done. Now, here's where it gets crazy. I have clients that have a little restaurant or a business, and they've got 50 grand in payroll every month. So when they have 50 grand, see, I'm learning how to use this, Logan. Okay, I'm getting the pro down because it's an iPad Pro. Get it? I'm the pro.
A pro for a pro.
A pro for a pro. I like that. I'm going to use that. Okay, so let's say I have 50 grand a month in payroll. I'm going to multiply that by 2.5. I get a loan. This is crazy, for $125,000. In the first 8 weeks, as soon as I get the money, I use it for payroll, rent, or fixed debt. Completely forgiven. If I don't pay off the loan for whatever reason, use that money in the first 8 weeks, the interest rate, get this, Justin, 0.05, 0.5%. And I think the term, oh my gosh, it's in my article, it's 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's short. I think it's like 3 years, but it's not a long one. Okay, that's the PPP. And what Lee just asked, what number do I use? You use your W-2. When I went to the banker this morning, he said, I need your 941s for last year. Now, if you're a sole proprietor, you're going to show up and you're going to have your 2019 tax return done. Because whatever's on your Schedule C is your net profit. That's your payroll. That's it. And you multiply that, you divide that by 12, multiply by 2.5, there's your loan. Okay, that's the PPP. Now, guys, that's only one of the 8 strategies in this stimulus. How are we doing? Views? Okay, Lee's from North Carolina. Thank you, Lee. All right, Alan, Facebook, says, can we apply for the PPP and the EIDL at the same time? Yes. Yes. Okay, you got to be more excited about this. All right, I've got a business owner in here, and I'm like trying to get him some money. This is good. Okay, you ask any questions. Okay.
It's soaking in.
Oh, you're soaking it in. All right. Okay. Here's the question in our 8. So here's our 8. Can I get the EIDL and the PPP? Yes. Now, I had a client go to the banker on Monday and say, I want to apply for both. And the banker said, you can't do that. And so they thought I was wrong. Now, let me get this straight. You're going to trust the banker that just graduated from college 2 months ago and got their training online from Duluth, Minnesota, and just told you what to do? What do you think bankers do? They are told what to do, and I apologize, bankers, I'm being honest, right? You got a lot of people above you. You can't go to the bathroom without approval. I have read this bill. This is 800 pages. I've broken it down. I can tell you can do both. Now, here's where the misinformation is. Remember in our example, if Lee uses that $8,333 for payroll or rent, it's forgiven. What you can't do is use the same $10,000 and say, oh, I used it for rent and payroll. That's what you can't do. So what I'm suggesting is you look at your payroll for you and your family members and pay your payroll, and maybe you are trying to revive your business. Your payroll could go up. You may pay for rent with this money or pay with payroll over here. So you can get both loans. I've already applied for my 10 grand. I applied Sunday night. And you don't think, well, Mark, you're a tax lawyer, you don't need 10 grand. Yes, I do. I've got 60 employees and we're trying to keep them all at work, and we haven't sent home one employee yet. Sent home some interns, but whatever. Okay, now, Now let me just say this before I go to my next question. Some of you are going, what's this EIDL? Now this is important, everybody. I want to distinguish the two. EIDL. The EIDL stands for Emergency. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I had it I've been writing it all day. And okay, the EIDL is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It's been around for years. If you were in a hurricane, this is the loan you'd get for your small business. Well, what what President Trump did when he said the whole country is a disaster, everybody can get that loan. And they threw in the $10,000 immediate stimulus kicker. So what you can do is get 10 grand, and as long as you use it for payroll, rent, or fixed debt, anytime before the end of the year, it's forgiven. Then you can borrow up to an additional $2 million if you want. Check out these terms. 3.75% interest, 30 year. I got a bigger loan payment on my mortgage on my house. But you have to use the money for your business, and your business must have been functioning before January 31st in order to get that loan. Now here's what's cool. Logan, you're gonna love this. I can get up to 200 grand, no personal guarantee, no collateral, and it's 100% guaranteed by the government. You can even have a bankruptcy and crappy credit as long as you use this money to stimulate the economy. Is that crazy? I'm going to use this money to consolidate some debt, pay off some credit lines. Hey, that's a great term. 3.75, 30 year. Get the 10 grand. Then you go over here and do the PPP. See, the PPP is 2.5 times my payroll and a couple other things, right? ... Then I use that within 8 weeks for that designated crap. Completely forgiven. And I want to say it's 10 years, 0.5%, but whatever. I don't want you to pay this loan. I want you to be done with it. All right, we're going to go to questions? All right.
I have Dennis on Entrepreneur. She asked, what is a PPP?
A PPP is when you get your little 3-year-old to learn how to pee by the toilet and you go, PPP, and you get Cheerios. No, I'm just joking. PPP stands for, all right, I'll just write it down here. Payroll Protection Program. Now, I know I've been talking a mile a minute, and it's not just the rock star. I just cracked this open 2 minutes ago. I'll take a breath. The Payroll Protection Program has $350 billion that they've designated to give to you to put yourself on payroll and or your employees, to completely forgive it so that you can go out and keep your doors open and bring those employees back to work. So the minute you get this money, you got 8 weeks to spend it on payroll, or you got to pay it back. That's a big motivator to go hire your people. Say, get back over here, we're going to open the doors. And that's why they did this. That's the PPP. The EIDL or the EIDL is a longer term loan with only $10,000 of forgiveness, but you might need this for inventory, equipment, supplies, keep the doors open in a different way, but you can do both. All right, next question. You ready? I can take a paper one. No? Okay, I'm going to take a paper one. She's scrolling there. You're good. Just a second. This is Christina O. She says, PPP for S Corp. Would this be considered self-employed at top of application? No. S Corp is a corporation and you're going to be an employee with payroll. Let me repeat that. Here's another good way of looking at this. If you've followed Mark Kohler, and I hope you'll get on my YouTube channel and geek out tonight. I got almost 100 videos there. Please subscribe, click the bell, all that crap. Every time I shoot a new video, you get a ping. I got a weekly newsletter, articles, tips, deadlines. I try to keep it fun and full of energy. I don't know if you have many CPAs out there geeking out like me on this stuff. Now, and I've got great partners that are a lot smarter than me, but they don't want to be on camera. Now, here's what we normally do. I have you out there as a sole proprietor or an LLC, and then you're going to graduate to the S Corp when you're netting around 40 to 50 grand. Now, I've been teaching that for years. Lee's probably doing that. Then you take a W-2 and you take a distribution. Right, Lee? You've been doing this over in North Carolina. The S Corp is where every dentist, doctor, plumber, electrician, landscaper, realtor, broker, contractor, lawyer, accountant, we're all S Corps. That's where you want to be. You are a corporation. You're not going to be on that application considered self-employed unless you're an LLC or a sole proprietor. Now, the PPP is based on payroll. If you don't have payroll, you're not going to do the PPP. But guess what? What if you have, ready? I'm going to blow your mind. What happens if I have an LLC over here with a rental property? I can go get the EIDL over here. How many of you, I talked to a client this morning, said, I got a rental property. I'm scared to death that my tenant's not going to pay their rent this month. Get the EIDL, 10 grand to cover your mortgage payment. Totally forgiven. That's what I'm saying. So this, you can do the EIDL, you do the PPP on the S Corp. If you're self-employed, the calculations, Christina, are a little more tricky. So you're going to do your research. Now, everybody, here's an important point. I'm going to get, everybody, this is good, right? We're hanging in there. This is important. The PPP, you have to go to the bank and an SBA lender. These are the most popular guys and gals in town right now. I had my banker on the phone, I'm not kidding, at 8:20 this morning. I said, Justin, what are we doing? He goes, get this over, I'm emailing it to you right now. My partners and I, we were back and forth on the phone until noon until we had all of our applications done. Because you can apply for multiple businesses. You know what I'm saying? The EIDL, you go do online right now. If anybody wants to start, don't wait until this little webinar's over or broadcast. But what you do is all you do, Justin, you just do this right now when you get home. You go to www.sba/disaster. Then you're going to click on the COVID-19 loans and you're going to go to the economic, you're going to see it, economic injury loan, blah, 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 you know. So disaster loan, the EIDL. So you're going to go over there, click on it. My daughter, who's 23, pretty sharp girl, she's hopefully going to roll in here in a minute. She's a realtor. She did it sitting across the desk from me in about 15 minutes. Done. Get in line, people. You actually put in your bank account number and your routing number. So as soon as the government approves that loan, 10 grand's going to show up in your bank account. I'm kind of excited for mine to show up because I'm going to do go live when it shows up, and we're going to talk about it. Okay, what's our question, Cheryl?
On your Facebook, thank you for this. If I didn't file taxes in 2018 and haven't yet for 2019, would I at least do 2019 right now for the stimulus check?
No. Okay, everybody, let me repeat that because this is important. Cheryl hasn't filed her 2018 taxes yet, or 19. Not good, Cheryl. Notice how she didn't tell us what town she's from? Because the IRS is watching us and you could be in big trouble, Sharon. I'm just joking. Everybody, if you want the stimulus check, and this was from Treasury Secretary Mukin, he said, or Meekin, I can never say his name right. Meekin, it's cute, crazy name. You have got to file your 2018 or your 2019 taxes in order to get the stimulus check. Now, what I would do is, Cheryl, I'm not kidding, get down to H&R Block, Liberty Tax, a little street mall, strip mall, whatever place, or get on TurboTax or TaxSlayer, get online tonight. File your 2018 tax return, and when you do it, put in your banking information. Then the stimulus check will go to your bank account directly. And I'm going to repeat this, everybody, if you haven't filed your 2018 or 19, you won't get the stimulus check. But this is important. You don't have to file your 19. You don't have to file your 19, but you have to have at least filed your 18. And by the way, for those of you on Social Security, this was a release today on CNN, and they went all through it. Social Security, any of you on Social Security, you may have not filed for several years because you don't owe taxes with the new standard deduction. If you have not filed taxes and are receiving Social Security, the Social Security Administration teamed up with the IRS and said, all of you get your stimulus check based on where your Social Security check is going. So if you're doing automatic deposit, I don't know if you can on your Social Security check, that's where your stimulus check is going to go. So for those of you on Social Security, and Cheryl, if you're on Social Security, you don't have to go file your 18. But for everybody else, you better. Okay, Logan.
So we have Michelle from New York.
Michelle, she's at ground zero in New York. Man, I'm waiting for Will Smith and wasn't World War Z. It was, what was he running around shooting animals in Central Park?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. We're days away from I Am Legend. Oh my gosh, okay. What are we doing?
Okay, we have some 1099 contractors that did work for us during the first quarters of 2020, but we did not pay them yet. Can we pay them and include in the maximum loan amount?
Okay. First name again? Michelle. Okay, everybody, what Michelle's doing, I gotta explain this for everybody. Some of you don't want to have employees because you don't want to pay workers' comp and SUDA, FUTA, FICA, and so you kind of backdoor them as a subcontractor and give them a 1099. Now, if they truly do qualify as a 1099, that's a pretty cool deal. You don't have to carry all those expenses that come with an employee. But now it's working against you, Michelle, because remember, the PPP is based on your 2019 payroll. So even if you filed and put them all on payroll for first quarter 2020, it's not going to help. And if you put them on payroll for 2020, you got to pay all their FICA in the next 4 weeks. You're going to have problems with workers' comp because they're going to be pissed you didn't get workers' comp on them since January 1st. You'll probably have penalties on that too. So Michelle, do not put them on payroll. Tough. But here's what you can do. Okay, guys, if you got a 1099, you can go get the idle. See, so Michelle, you should be calling every one of your subs and saying, have you listened to Mark Kohler's podcast yet? Or have you been on it? Get over to the link and share this link with them because they can each go get their $10,000 as long as they were in business before January 31st, which it sounds like they were. So you don't want to try to throw them on payroll to get the PPP. Use the PPP for yourself and anybody else that was on payroll for last year. Then go get the idle for 10 grand, tell them to get their idle, and that might help as a group. So just get them out there. So if some of you got a 1099, that's a small business. If you have a rental property, that's a small business. It's that easy, people. All right, what do we got? Rosalie.
I have Quinn. She is from Texas.
Okay.
Can individual withdraw 401k and get reimbursed? They are still working as employee, did not lose the job yet.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we're moving to a new topic. Quinn, by the way, I'm Team Bucky's all the way. Quinn asked, it sounds like she has a day job, with a 401k plan at work. Some of you, now let's make this clear, this is very important. Some of you might have a small business, let's say an S Corp, and you've created your own solo 401k. Some of you or your spouse might have a day job with a W-2, as well as you've got the small business. You can have both. And at your day job, you have a company 401k. Can you have both? Yes, you can. You can participate in 2 401ks. This one is under your control as the trustee. This one is under control of the company, all right? Now here's what you can do under the new law. Whew, there's so much here. You're gonna love this, Quinn. Since Quinn says she has a company 401k, you have 2 options. You can go to the company and say, I want to borrow, and you can borrow up to, it used to be 50 grand or 50%, whichever was less. They took the percentage rule out and doubled it. You can borrow up to 100 grand. Now you have 5 years to pay it back at the regular interest rate. I should say it's like 2 plus prime or something. It's like 5%ish, but you're paying interest back to yourself. The interest payments you're making are going into your 401k. So it's not the end of the world. So you're going to borrow up to 100 grand. So what you would do, Quinn, is go into your HR department tomorrow and just say, hey, I want a loan. Now I want to step back and do a very important cautionary point. This is the moment, right, Caden? You know, you're zooming in on me. You're making it look good. Okay, everybody, be careful going and borrowing from your 401k or taking a distribution out of your IRA, which I'll come to as number 2. If your business was already on life support, I don't want you dipping into your retirement account or borrowing money to keep a business alive where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to claim unemployment. See, now here's the strategy. See, if some of you have had a complete wipeout in your business and you're like, you know what, screw it. I'm not going to dip into my 401k. I'm going to let the business die. I'm going to claim unemployment. See, now we'll come back to unemployment here in a moment. The benefits of unemployment could be as high as $4,000 a month. Yeah. This is why Lindsey Graham on the Senate floor was going berserk last week and why this bill was held up for 3 days. Because they were saying people are getting more money on unemployment than they were making at their job. So there was but everybody said, we just got to get the money out there. So they passed the damn bill. Now, that's okay, whatever. There's people hurting out there. But here's my point, Quinn. You may not want to borrow from the 401k to save your business if your business isn't worth saving. Now, it doesn't mean you're a failure. Just hit reset, start over. Come back lean and mean and stronger 6 months from now. You can get back, you can hole up at the compound, you can collect unemployment for a while, and then get back on top. That's okay, that's an option here. Don't think again it's tunnel vision, I gotta get a loan. Maybe a loan is a bad idea. Now, if you can get the loan forgiven, what the hell, give it a shot for 8 weeks, see what you can pull off, right? Okay, next option. You can actually take a distribution from your 401k up to 100 grand. Now, normally if you did that, there's a 10% penalty and tax. Now, there is no penalty and you can pay it back over 3 years and spread out the payments on the tax. And by the end of the 3 years, you can even do a lump sum payment and pay off the tax, no payment, no penalty. So that's a pretty good deal. You can also do this with an IRA, a SEP, a KEO, any sort of retirement account. So you've got the distribution option and you have the borrowing option. For those of you that have your own solo 401k, you can do the loan document tonight. Now here's where this strategy comes into play. What I've got is clients that are saying, you know what, Mark, I'm going to grab the 401k loan. Now look at this. I could go grab a loan for 50 grand. Then I could go apply for under my S Corp, I could apply for my PPP. Now let's say my PPP is for 50 grand as well. We don't know when that's going to come out. It could be 3 or 4 weeks before you get your money, but you got to pay bills this weekend. You could borrow money from your 401k immediately. Now, who's borrowing from the 401k? The corporation or you? It's you. So you're going to borrow this 50 grand and go pay bills and survive. And then when the PPP comes in, guess who your first person you're going to pay in that 8 weeks? You. You get the loan forgiven and you take the 50 grand and put it back in your 401k. No tax, no penalty, no debt. And you got paid for 2 months, stimulating the economy. That's what I'm talking about. Good question, Quinn. All right, what do we got? Daniel in New York, ground zero. Hope you're okay, Daniel. Is he on the ship? Is he on the ship out there in the, I don't know, that'd be pretty cool.
He's on the aircraft carrier flooding.
Aircraft carrier hitting driving shots, all right.
Okay. Hi, Mark. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I have an S Corp. I know you said an S Corp is bad in Brooklyn. Can you explain why? Does my business qualify for a loan if it doesn't have payroll?
Okay, first, okay, let's work in reverse. If some of you have the S Corp, and we've had I've had clients call me up and go, Mark, I haven't done payroll in my S Corp in 2019. I never did it. Well, you're not going to get the PPP. You can't go back and recreate this, Daniel. So if you don't have payroll in 2019, you're not getting it. Now, if Daniel was a sole proprietor or Daniel was an LLC, see, now in this example, if we compare the two, Daniel could be a sole prop or an LLC. You don't pay yourself payroll in an LLC or sole prop. In fact, you can't. LLCs do not save taxes, people. I've been teaching that for 20 years. And everybody still clicks on the LegalZoom and thinks, I need an LLC, it's going to save taxes. No, I'm a CPA, I'll do your taxes. I'll show you it doesn't. But if you have an S Corp or an LLC taxed as an S Corp, you now have an S Corp. You got to do a W-2. Now, if Daniel didn't do a W-2 last year, he can't get a PPP. But what could Daniel get? What could he get, guys? Come on, work with me. He can't get the PPP, but he can get the EIDL. So Daniel, not all is lost. Run over there, get the EIDL, get the 10 grand or more, save the biz. 3.75% interest, 30-year term, not bad if it's worth getting. So you can still get a loan, but not the PPP. Now, for some of you out there that are going, well, I never paid myself either. Well, if you're not an S Corp, you can't pay yourself. Whatever your profit is, you're going to take that off your 2018 or 2019 return, divide it by 12, multiply it by 2.5, and there's your PPP. That's what you're going to do. And your banker will walk you through this. So I want to say again, if you want the PPP, you go to the bank. If you want the EIDL, you get online right when we're done with this broadcast, and you go to sba.gov/disaster and get started right now. You guys doing okay? I hope you guys are having a good time. I'm a dork. We got a lot of followers today. Is it nuts? I love it. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm here most every Thursday at 4 o'clock Mountain Time, answering questions. I know getting a good tax lawyer or a lawyer that knows accounting or an accountant that knows law that can speak English is hard to find. I'm here every Thursday at 4 o'clock. We got a free newsletter, a podcast every Wednesday. I'm not going anywhere. And we help clients all around the country. Oh, and I never answered the rest of Daniel's question. Why do S Corps not work in the 5 boroughs? I do not like them in Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, or the Bronx. You got to move your office out to Long Island, over to into Westchester, or over the river into New Jersey. You got to stay out of the 5 boroughs with an S Corp. The reason why, the cities, not the state of New York, the cities of New York do not recognize an S Corp. So you've got to pay C Corp tax to have an S Corp in the 5 boroughs. By the time you pay the C Corp tax, the FICA savings, it almost washes each other out. So regrettably, I have a lot of clients that set up their corporate office out in Long Island. But if you have employees in the boroughs, you're not going to get away with it. So be careful, Daniel. Get a consult. We can help you back it out, move it around, whatever. So I had a client in New York last year move his whole operations to Puerto Rico. 1% tax, baby. Boom. Pretty sweet. All right, next.
I'm Katie from Illinois. My husband and I have an LLC under which we operate our rental properties.
Okay.
I am also a realtor. Our rental vacancies loss of income cover. Could we use the IDL load to upgrade our rental?
Okay. Katie, I love your question. Now notice what Katie said. She's a realtor. So one of my other questions is going to be, how much money has she been making? Is she a sole prop, an LLC, or an S corp? So we're going to be looking at that strategy as well. So Katie, a PPP could work for you on the realtor side. Especially, now this is going to blow your mind, you could apply for an EIDL here under this tax identification number, EIN. You could also apply for an EIDL over here under this tax ID number. Huh? Because they're two separate businesses. You can apply for two separate disaster reliefs. Now, what I would do, Katie, is I'd look at your PPP, run the numbers, do an EIDL as well. You can do both. Get the 10 grand, use it for qualified expenses, wipe that baby out. Over here, I like what you're doing. I'm doing the same thing, Katie, to be blunt. I really am. Now, you have to be able to show that you need this loan for disaster relief. So if your tenants aren't paying rent or they trash the place during this coronavirus thing, that's what the loan needs to be for. So here, Katie, here's a good example. If you're down in Miami and a hurricane hits and your rental is, trashed and you got to put 40 grand into it, that's what the EIDL's for, to go repair the rental at a very low interest rate and a long term. But that's because the hurricane beat the crap out of your rental. Coronavirus is more of affecting your rent, and I don't know. I don't know how much money you're going to be able to get. I know you're going to at least get the 10 grand and maybe enough rent to cover the rest of the year. But go apply. What do you got to lose? People, what do you got to lose? What, you're binging out on Netflix tonight? And I know Better Call Saul, 4th season's out. I'm in it, but I still got to get some work done, people. All right. Seat Junkie. From where?
We don't know.
Oh, Seat Junkie Anonymous.
From the IKEA warehouse.
From the IKEA warehouse.
How can college kids get the stimulus check if they are over 17 yet dependents on their parents' taxes?
Can't. Stinky Junkie. Junkie Stinky. What is it?
Seat junkie.
Seat Junkie. See, I went with Stinky Junkie. Sorry, bud. Okay. Now let's talk for a minute. This is tricky, people. So you've got parents over here, and let's say married or divorced, whatever, and you've got some kids under age 17. All right, these kids are worth $500 a pop. Easy schmeezy. But you've got this college age kid out here, and let's say you've got 3 college kids, all right? Because you can have 3 different examples. This is why we're doing consults with clients, people, because I can't answer. Everybody's different, right? So I'll give you our phone number, and we're trying to get some word out. So let's say you've got a 19-year-old, and mom and dad have been claiming them as a dependent. And they're also helping out with college expenses, getting the lifetime learning credit, the American Opportunity Credit. So they're getting tax credits here, and it's beneficial for mom and dad to claim this kid on their taxes. I'd leave it alone. But let's say they've got another kid that's 21, and this kid is out of college. And so the parents, they can't claim them as a dependent unless the 21-year-old is living in the house and they're providing more than half of their income or their living costs, and the kid makes under a certain amount. So this 21-year-old, though, has never filed a tax return. See? This happens all the time. These kids get out of college, they're just coming out of college, they're trying to get the first job. They haven't filed a 2018 or 19 tax return. They're in limbo. The parents aren't getting the stimulus and they're not getting the stimulus. So what I would do, Junkie, is I would get out there and file your 19 tax return tonight. Get in there, get in the system, get your $1,200, free money. Now, let's say we got a 24-year-old. Parents aren't claiming them and they just got married. I was kind of talking to Logan about this, right? You got married last year?
2 years ago.
Oh, never mind, 2 years ago. How's it going? You're doing all right?
Yeah, she still likes me.
She still likes you? I know, it's 2 more years and you're pretty much,
I heard the first 50 are the hardest.
yeah. Yeah, the first 50 are the hardest. Yeah, after that, you're just like, you're on life support. Okay, because Logan got married, he's gonna get $2,400. And the minute you get married, you're not gonna get claimed by your parents. So I've got all sorts of consultations we're doing, trying to see what's the best method here. And if your parents haven't filed for last year and claiming you as a dependent doesn't help them, drop off and go do your tax return and get your $1,200. So that's the answer. Sorry, my nose is just kind of itchy here. Okay, what do we got?
I have Pam from California.
Okay.
I am applying for the EIDL program and went through and filled out the information. Towards the end, it asked for my bank account information. Is it safe to put it in? Is it
Yes.
scary for her?
Yes, Pam, do it. Now, Pam, my daughter asked this question too. She said, what bank account do I put in the EIDL application? Your business bank account that's tied to your business EIN. Now, for some of you out there like, I don't have an EIN. I'm just a sole proprietor using my social. Then you do your social security number and you put your personal bank account number. And maybe you have a small business bank account under your social, fine, whatever. But you're gonna use your personal bank account. This is a government website. Now, if Pam, you're worried about some sort of fraud or something, and you got some money in that bank account, move it to savings, get it out of there. That's cool. Just leave a few dollars in there and see when you get your stimulus money. I don't know, see what happens. All right, I'm gonna go to a written question here too. This is Chris on Instagram. Under the CARES Act and the new RMD deferral, can an already performed RMD be reversed? Because I am all about helping you here, I'm gonna see if I can get the infamous Matt Sorensen on the phone. Now, we have an article in Entrepreneur right now talking about this very issue. It's in Matt's article, it's linked in mine. So all of you get to my article at markjkohler.com. Matt, you are live on Entrepreneur Facebook right now. And we got a question from Chris. Matt gives you guys a shout out to the Entrepreneur followers, Mark Kohler's Facebook and YouTube. Matt Sorensen and I also have 2 webinars already on YouTube this week on more specific topics. Matt, we got a retirement question. Under the CARES Act and the new RMD deferral, so you don't have to make your RMD deposits this year. That's part of the CARES Act. They already made it. They already made their RMD payment. Can it get reversed? What do you do? Yeah, they already took their distribution as the RMD. And they'd rather have it back in. Okay, I'm going to tell you what he said. First, Matt says, let me do these in pieces so no one's looking at me stare at the phone for a minute. He said, first strategy is if you took the RMD within the last 60 days, just put it back. You're good. Okay, Matt? No. That's the 60-day rollover. Okay. Yeah. So you'd want to call your custodian or your stockbroker or brokerage and say, I don't want that to be an RMD. I want to apply that towards my 100 grand that I'm going to pull out this year, and I can put it back if I want. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Well, Mr. Sorensen, we love you, and everybody right now at entrepreneur.com, the banner on entrepreneur.com is Matt Sorensen's article on this very topic. So people, if you're going to try to tap your 401k or IRA, get over to Matt Sorensen. Love you, man. Thanks. See you. Okay, I'm going to repeat this. If you already took your RMD, which is your required minimum distribution for 2020, you don't have to this year, but if you already took it and you did it within the last 60 days, put it back. You're done. No penalty. You're fine. And you're not required to take an RMD anyway, so there won't be any penalty. Number two, Matt said, just apply it towards the 100 grand that you can pull out this year. And he said, most of the brokers don't get this right now. So don't stress. By the end of the year, your broker will know what's going on. And before you get a 1099 at the end of the year from your Merrill Lynch or whoever, you're going to want to call them and go, that was not an RMD. That was part of my 100 grand distribution. And I put it back. And so there's no penalty, no tax. So you're going to be okay. Christine. Chris, you're going to be okay, Chris. All right, who's next?
I have Gary from Long Island, New York.
Gary from Long Island. I used to live in Bayshore. I was a missionary out there in Bayshore knocking doors. You may have just slammed the door in my face 20 years ago, but that's okay, bud. I love you and I love Long Island. It's all good. Okay.
Mark, please explain how the Family Care Leave Act works. I have a daughter.
He has a daughter. Okay. Here's how the FMLA works. This is part of the 8 strategies. Again, I've got 2 articles on this on my blog. You can go to markjkohler.com and I would dive into this. And what's Gary? Is it Gary? Okay. Go to those 2 articles of mine, Gary, and read up on them. I tried to cover every nuance, and you can dive deeper after my article. So what Gary's asking is about the Family Medical Leave Act. Now, here's what the general rule is. If you've got a business and you have under 500 employees, the government says what we're going to do is any of your employees that have to go home to take care of a child that has been affected or a dependent or yourself or whatever, you've got to go home to take care of a family member. And even if they can't go to school or whatever, you got to go home. The government says, go home, and you're going to give that employee 2/3 of their regular pay, up to $200 a day, or a max of $10,000. That is for 12 weeks. If you do the math, that's approximately $30 an hour employee. So if your employee is $20 an hour, they're going to get about $14 an hour while they're out there. Now, why would you do this as an employer? You don't have the money to do this. The government reimburses you 100% for doing this. They want these people to go home and be safe. Now, the rule is under federal law, when this 12 weeks is over, you got to bring them back. Now, if your business is dead at that point and you literally can't bring them back, there's an exemption if it would be, disastrous for your business or negatively impact your business to bring them back. But they get 12 weeks of 2/3 of their pay and you get reimbursed. Now, here's the strategy, Gary. Maybe this person is your spouse and they're on payroll in your business. Now, to get this rule, you want the trick here? Here's the trick. They have to be on payroll for at least 30 days before they take family medical leave. So, what are we doing this month, Gary? Payroll reports are due by the end of April for first quarter. You can still put your spouse on payroll for the month of March at $30 an hour. See what I'm saying? So you can put your spouse on payroll for the month of March, and now your spouse takes family medical leave for the next 3 months, and you can get up to 10 grand. I've ran the numbers on this. Do you want to know what the numbers are? You have to put your spouse on payroll for $2,400 times 2. That's $4,800 of payroll for the month of March. Now, if you say, well, Mark, I don't have $4,800. Well, you're going to book it as if you put them on payroll, and you've got to pay FICA, which is about 15%. The numbers are around $750 to $800. So it's going to cost you about $800 in FICA, but you get a check for $10,000. Pen drop. There we go. So You're going to funnel the money through you're going to launder the money, you're going to pay your spouse, pay FICA, put the money back into the business, and then give him or her family medical leave. So Gary, you're on the right track. I don't know how successful your business is, what you're doing. Now people, what we're trying to do is help clients through this month. Rosalie's on the phones with people. We've got 5 attorneys in my office. They are taking consultations right now for an hour to help guide you through this. Now our attorneys are normally $350 an hour. We've discounted it for $300 for an hour. Now I know some of you are like, $300 an hour, what? I just made Gary $9,300. Can you afford $300 to learn how to do this? That's what we're doing in our hour. We're taking your business, your facts, giving you a plan, seeing which of these 8 strategies work for you. Maybe 2, maybe 4, maybe 3, maybe 1. We want you to get money back that far exceeds what you pay us. If you'd like to make an appointment, now this is not an infomercial, it really is not, but if you want to make an appointment, call 435-586-9366. Now let me tell you, and I know Rosalie just told me before this, we are booked out till next Thursday, so we're out about a week. Now, in the meantime, you can read the articles, watch the videos, and I would say get your EIDL application in. Start trying to get in line with a banker for the PPP if you have payroll. But if you have more questions and you don't know where to turn, make an appointment that's 10 days from now. It's okay. We're going to try to help guide you through this. And we want to be there on the back end so that when we're all done with this mess, we can help get you in the right corporation, the right LLC. That's what we do. This is nothing new for us. We're picking up for our thousands of clients around the country right where we left off. So let's get you your estate plan, the right LLC, get your minutes done. We're here for you. We've got a full service accounting firm. We're doing thousands of tax returns. We're still taking clients for 2019. Call this number, make an appointment if you need it, and we can start your tax return. Anyway, that's it, just so they're out there. One more question, or we're done? We're done. Ah, man. All right. No more questions? I was having so much fun. But Justin, any question? We got our local business owner here. Local restaurant owner. What do you got?
EIDL loan. What sort of things can you use that on?
He said on the EIDL loan. Now let's remember in the EIDL, there's 2 pieces. There's the 10 grand and then whatever loan you want. Now to get the 10,000 forgiven, you have to use it for payroll, for yourself even, rent, or fixed debt obligations. So if you have any mortgage or kind of like a SBA loan or an equipment loan or anything like that, if you use it for one of those 3 things or a combination thereof, 10 grand's forgiven. I think you can pay yourself at least 10 grand, right? So the 10 grand's free. Then the loan can be used for anything you want for your business. All you have to do is show, I need this loan to stay open. This is my chance to get better signage, get my carpet replaced, buy another piece of equipment, and go to and you're going to do this all online. The EIDL loan is all online. You don't have to go see a banker to get doing. So just go to sba.gov/disaster and start the process. Thanks, man. I love this guy. He's got a local restaurant with great soup. And we don't have any real locals following this, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. We're all over the country. I'm in this little town in Idaho, which I love. But I walk out the door and no one cares who I am, and that's fine. I'm good. So, hey, everybody, I'll be here next Thursday. Oh, and I'm going to give away this book. Share this video. Share this recording. Rosalie in the morning is going to, I need a pen. Throw me a pen. In the morning, Rosalie is going to look at all the people that shared this broadcast, and that she's going to randomly select a winner and mail this to you with no cost. I'm going to say, don't get sick with the virus. Don't get sick with the virus. And signing it right here for someone, I don't know who it's going to be, Mark Kohler. So this is yours. We're going to send it out. Last week's winner was LaShawn Kusar from Chicago, Illinois. And she, or he, LaShawn, I think it's probably a woman, LaShawn, won the Tax and Legal Playbook. I don't even have that book up here, but I got 4 or 5 books on Amazon. Get over there. Oh, last thing, everybody. I've got an entrepreneur quarantine special right now. It's $99. All of my digital education, all my videos. It's lifetime membership. I've been doing this for 10 years. I normally only do the $99 special for 24 hours on Cyber Monday. I turned it on during this crisis. So 99 bucks, tax deductible, and you can be watching all my videos on everything I'm doing, 40 hours worth of content, and it's lifetime membership. Most of the books come on audio or Kindle in that same special. So you can get to that on my website at markjkohler.com. Please follow me, share this, and I'm not going anywhere, people. I'm going to keep broadcasting and sharing strategies on this stimulus package until we're back to normal, and then I'll start sharing other cool stuff. So thanks, everybody. Be safe. Thanks for watching.